and welcome. Just a quick, I've already done the Q&A, but this is a quick intro to say there's nothing to see here. This is just me talking. So treat it as a podcast and put me on in the background while you're doing your ironing or whatever else you're doing, because there's nothing else to see other than my face, unless you like my face. Hi guys, so today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. I tend to do a Q&A video every kind of like 6 months or so, about 5 months I think since I last did one. I really enjoy doing them, so I'm getting the questions up on my video. I really enjoy doing them. It's fun, and I like watching other people's videos when they do Q&As. I like to kind of get to know the person behind the channel, if you know what I mean, because people are just people, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm going to go to Instagram first because there's only one question from Instagram. I don't know what I've done with Instagram lately, whether people in general have fallen out of love with Instagram or whether people have fallen out of love with me on Instagram. But I have lost so many followers, like a couple of thousand, like followers on Instagram. I don't know why. I don't know what I've done. And also the engagement in my posts has gone like right down. Like I used to get like hundreds of likes and now I only get like a handful. And I don't know what's happened, like what I've done wrong. And I don't know what that was falling down. Anyway. So the question on Instagram was skincare. Your skin always looks great. Thank you. But I don't necessarily think it does. Like at the moment, like I'm really spotty. That is hormonal though. I do tend to get a few little spots and things around a certain time of the month. And my skin is really dry now. But I don't really do anything. I'm a bit of a fraud. I wash my face with water in the shower. And then for moisturiser, when it's dry, I use a bit of oil. I use a bit of avocado oil with some essential oil in it. And that's it. My mum at Christmas of the last couple of years has bought me a Lizelle skincare set with cleanser, toner and polisher in. And I use it sporadically. If I'm honest, I'm really bad at remembering to use it. But when I remember to use it, I do use the Lizelle stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at remembering, if I'm perfectly honest. Sorry, I was just like finding the ones on Facebook because I want to keep the video fairly short because I do like to chat. I should have said at the beginning, shouldn't I? There'll be nothing to see. So if you want to just put me on while you do your ironing, that's fine by me. Okay, so going over to Mrs. Brimble's Happy Place Facebook group now. I don't think I remember to post it on my public Facebook. Can't remember. What is Mr. B's YouTube channel? His YouTube channel is Wholesome Day, and I always link it below in the description of my videos. He doesn't do that many videos these days as he used to do, but his channel is basically, he does like a nature stuff, he does cooking stuff, and he mainly now does allotment videos. Have you two ever been to the US? Yes, we have. Only once though. I'd love to go back again. There's so many places on my like bucket list that I'd like to go to. So we went on our honeymoon in 2007. We went to what's it called? Las Vegas. We went to Las Vegas for a couple of days. Just because we kind of like wanted to do it, but we the way our flights worked, it was how we did it. Went to Las Vegas, not in any particular hurry to go back to Las Vegas, if I'm honest with you guys. I'm not really into all the commercialism. It was fun to see, but I'm not really into commercialism. I would kind of like to go back though, just because we didn't do things like the Grand Canyon and stuff like that, so I'd like to do that. And then we went to Hawaii. We went to Oahu for a week and Maui for a week, which we absolutely loved and would so want to go back to Hawaii, loved it, absolutely loved it. And then on the way back, we went to New York for a couple of days. When we got to New York, it was the beginning of December. We were in Hawaii where we were wearing like swimming costumes and shorts, and then we landed in December then we landed in New York, and there was snow on the ground and it was freezing cold. But it was really lovely to see New York in the snow. We went up the Empire State Building in the snow, so the view wasn't like that great, but it was still like something we ticked off our list. And we did the Rockefeller, top of the rock as well, and saw all like the Christmas stuff. Went to Macy's and Bloomingdale's, and yeah, I saw the Christmas stuff, so that was really nice. But yeah, I'd definitely like to go back to New York as well. There's lots in New York we didn't get to do. How did your journey as an artist begin? Well, I've always enjoyed art, and I did art at school, like just normal classes. But my art teacher didn't think I had any potential, was not encouraging. I really didn't enjoy doing still life, and my art teacher at school was like so super into still life stuff, like portraiture or bowls of fruit or flowers, and I just wasn't into that. I used to draw from my imagination, which I still do mainly, and so we didn't really get to see eye to eye. And because I wasn't like the quietest pupil, particularly because I wasn't really being engaged and stuff, I kind of would get a bit naughty, and so I was put off art. So I sort of like didn't do it. I only ever did art as like fun in the background, and yeah, I went off on a totally different path, university and stuff, and then I ended up trying to think of which way round all this was now. um, I went back to college basically, and I started doing a photography degree. I can't remember now so long ago, which came first, which course came first. But I started doing a photography degree. I didn't do the final year because I went back as a mature student, and I worked part-time whilst I did that. And so yeah, I went back as a mature student, and the photography. I didn't do the last year because at the time I couldn't really see the point. I wasn't doing the course because I wanted a degree. I was doing the course because I wanted to do a different career, but also to learn about photography and stuff. And yeah, so the last year was like a self-guided thing. Like, you know, you basically had to go off and do your own thing and then produce an exhibition. That was one part of it. And the other part of it was videography. And at the time, I had absolutely no interest in videography at all. And I was like, you know, I was paying to do the course, like as a mature student, because I'd already done a degree. And so I was like, I couldn't really see the point in paying for something that I didn't really want or didn't really know to do, because as I said, I wasn't in it for the certificate. And now I do regret that, because now the videography stuff would have been really useful, as I now make videos. So I did that and sort of worked part-time and stuff. And as I said, I can't remember which course came next. And I also went back and I did a art diploma as well. Again, I didn't really have much joy with that, because again, there was a massive focus on still life. I just don't know if I just chose the wrong courses. It was like it was mainly a drawing course, so maybe that was like the wrong course to go on. I did that, and then it wasn't until I was made redundant from a job. Oh, right, and I took voluntary redundancy, and I was like, I'm going to do a different career. So I did a different career, and so I was doing the photography, and like the photography was very like heavy, like a lot of Photoshop work, and then I got ill. I got pneumonia and a collapsed lung, and I nearly died. And part of my recovery, I started watching loads of YouTube videos, and from that, I kind of got back into art again. Not that it ever really left me. And I was like, oh, I could do some YouTube videos. So I started doing YouTube videos, art journaling, and then I kind of saw YouTube videos of planners, because I watched a lot of YouTube, because I'd kind of exhausted. That was before Prime and Netflix, so I'd kind of exhausted like the daytime telly. So yeah, I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I was like, oh, I could do this. So I posted a couple of videos, which then led to an Instagram account where I posted a couple of things. And then a couple of people said, well, like, are they for sale? Like, because I at the time you couldn't buy things for your planner like you could now, you can now. And so a couple of people were like, oh, were they for sale? I'd buy them, like dashboards. And so I set up an Etsy shop, and then that's it. I kind of morphed from a career in HR to photography to art. So there we go. That's my journey. um, okay, so some basic watercoloring tips. I might actually do a separate video on that if I'm honest, because I've kind of got a lot to say, I think. So if that's okay, I'll do a separate video on that. So if there's anything specific you want to know about watercolors, leave it in the description of the video below, and I will add that into the video. But I think I've already done one for my Patreons as well, so I'll have a look and see whether I could make the video that I did for my Patreons available to you guys, or whether it was more like Patreon specific. But I'll do a separate video on that. What piece of advice would you give your younger self? Oh, oh my gosh, so many things. I don't know. I don't know. I was bullied a lot when I was younger, and that really took away a lot of my self-confidence. And I would say that some of it has never really come back. But actually, now when I look back on that, I'm really disappointed in myself that I let them get to me. So I don't know, something along those lines. Never give up. If you want it, you got to work for it. Nothing's handed to you on your plate. You want to work for it. What other cliches can I think of? Yeah, basically, you just gotta. If there's something you want, you got to make it happen and look at different ways of breaking that down. Oh, I can't think of anything particularly like. I don't know. Poignant. I can't think of anything that's like really like a pearl of wisdom or anything. I can't necessarily think of what that is. That's pretty lame, I know. Sorry. Do you have any plans for the next 5 to 10 years? Yeah, survive. If I'm honest, I've got 2 young kids, and so like it's a juggling act sometimes, juggling work and the kids, and tiredness and all that thing. I have so many ideas for Mrs. Brimble's the business. So many ideas of collections I'd like to do. So I'd love to do more like YouTube tutorials. I'd like to do more products, like, I'd love to do things like mugs and enamel pins and rolls of washi tape and things like that. But it's a combination of money to invest in buying either machinery or like getting them printed externally. So there's that, and also time, because I literally only work on a Friday and occasional evenings. And so it's like balancing all of those kind of things. And my kids are young and I home educate them. So there's only so much time in which I can have. So in all honesty, the next 5 years is all about enjoying having a small family and raising them, because I know that when they're teenagers, they're not going to want to know me, and so they'll be horrible and they'll be in their rooms all the time on their TV, and I'll have loads of time then. so yeah, so for the next 5 years it's kind of just enjoy the family, keep Mrs. Brimble's ticking, because I love doing what I do, so keep that going, but basically to keep it going and then see what happens. And as we know from 2020/2021, basically anything can happen. So I think you very much, it's good to have like long-term plans, absolutely, but also you need to be kind of flexible and adaptable and take each day as it comes. Okay, so the next one is, when you are in a craft slump, how do you reset yourself or get out of it? Oh, well, I've had a few of those over the years, actually. And I wouldn't say I'm in a craft slump now. I'm in a like got loads of ideas, but haven't really got the what's it called? Like the brain space, the energy in which to execute those. My life at the moment, my children don't sleep. That's just the way their brains are wired, bless them. And so like I have tons of ideas at the moment. What I do though is I park those ideas. Like I will write them down on my desk. I have like tons of like bits of paper with ideas written on, and I've got like notebooks and things with ideas in. So I will write ideas down when I have ideas and motivation, that kind of thing. Or it might be a photograph of a color palette. Like I've seen a combination or something, or like when I'm out and about sometimes, not anymore, like, but in the past I've seen like a pattern, like a floor tile or something, and I photographed that and that kind of thing, and I either print them out and put them in that book or just save them on my phone. So I kind of like harvest ideas and keep ideas along the way. These days you've got Pinterest, obviously. You could use Pinterest, that kind of thing. But generally speaking, if I'm in a craft slump, I don't worry about it, because crafting and arting and all that kind of stuff should be fun. It's your hobby, it's your release, it's your bliss. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable. I don't think it's something that you should feel guilty about or pushed about. I know a lot of artists do talk about showing up and sitting down and pushing themselves through it, and I think that it can be a good thing if that helps for you. But what I think about that is more like, like just swatching your watercolors or something, or sticking down a load of collage or something that doesn't require loads of brain space, loads of thinking, that kind of thing. Something that's kind of like easy for you to do and therapeutic, like have YouTube on in the background, or a podcast or an audiobook or something, and just kind of like just do swatches of paint across the page, that kind of thing. But generally speaking, I think don't sweat it, don't worry about it, because I think the more you think about, oh, I'm not motivated, or I've got no ideas or anything, the more you give so basically I think your energy flows where your attention goes, kind of thing. Like the more you think about it, the more it becomes an issue or a problem. Like when you're driving a car, if you see a curb and you're thinking, there's a curb, don't hit that curb, don't hit that curb, don't hit that curb, I think you're more likely to hit the curb. Whereas so I think that the more you think, oh, I've got no motivation, I can't do this, la 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 la, the more it kind of snowballs. So I think for me, I forget about it and I do other things. I get into a TV program, or I read, or go out for walks, or play games with the family, that kind of thing. And then it comes back. I find, for me, it is part of who I am. It's part of my makeup. It's part of my soul. So it kind of like the inspiration kind of finds its way back to me. So yeah, the less I worry about it, the more I'm like, and you'll find yourself just pick something up. It might, and of course your ideas change, your interests change, your thoughts change. So you may have been into art journaling and painting. You may find yourself that you don't want to do that anymore, but you want to go into just writing, or your direction changes. You might go from knitting to crochet, or from painting to crochet, or whatever. So just go with we change as people. So just go with how you're feeling. Trust your feelings, and if it's right for you, you'll find your way back to it, is what I think, or that's what kind of works for me anyway. And I always find a walk in nature, a bit of a reset, always works as well. Other things that work, I like doing courses. There's nothing like sort of bouncing off of somebody else. One thing I do not recommend you do, and that is heavily watch, unless you kind of enjoy it. I would say don't heavily watch people doing stuff on YouTube or on Instagram, because in your head it'll be like everybody else is doing stuff and not me. So I'd kind of avoid that a bit. But doing a course can be quite good, because that can kind of like give you some ideas. You can learn something new. You might find that you got a bit stale. So doing like an online course. There's loads of online courses. In the Facebook group, I did a little vlog on some courses that I recommend. Or there's online courses. There's Patreon accounts. that kind of thing, you know. So you could kind of like take some classes, take some tutorials. That can also help. So I hope that answers that one. Current favourite stationery and art supplies. Okay. Sorry, I had to have a drink. Okay, so my favourite supplies, these highlighters. I got them ages ago in a Secret Santa, a Mrs. Brimble's Secret Santa, or someone from YouTube sent them to me. I cannot remember, and I really apologise. They're amazing. They're highlighter pens and they're glittery, and I use them all the time. I have to hide them because other people in the house like them. John, no, my daughter likes them. They're Asian. Kirash. I don't know how you pronounce them. They're amazing. Loads of different colours, but they're highly glittery. So I love those. I use those all the time. The other thing is this. I got this in a Secret Santa. This is a glittery Nouveau Aqua Shimmer. It's in here and it's gold and it's shimmery and I love it. I use it on everything now. That. For Christmas, I got this journal, which I absolutely love. I always love my See White of Brighton journals, sketchbooks. That is my like go-to brand for sketchbooks and journals. So my it's quite full. I think I've basically I've got loads of pages left, but the spine's busting and I need to repair the spine. So yeah, See White of Brighton. Let's see what else. My favour watercolors. Prima. I use those. Do I favour them? I don't necessarily favour them, but they're the watercolors that I have, and I like them. Would I buy them again, or would I try something else? I'd probably go for something else. I'd try something else, but I do like them. I always use pens wise. Uni pins. Always use these. These are waterproof, and I absolutely love my Posca paint pens. They are a favourite, and I use those all the time as well. And so yeah, those are my favourites. And do you know what? I have not bought any art supplies in the longest time. I just use what I have, and it works. And yeah, that's it. I guess that's my favourite. What was your very first planner and what size was it? Well, my very first planner actually was the planner that school gave us. That we used to have like a paper planner. I think I've done these. I think I've done videos on these on my channel before, so I'll find them and I'll link them below. So that was technically my first planner. It was like a homework diary planner thingy-majiggy. Other than that, I bought my first ring-bound planner, like planner as an adult, because my mum always used to buy me a diary every year at Christmas, and I used to use that. But yeah, the first one I bought as an adult was a pocket-sized Filofax in the botanical range, and that was my very first planner, like as an adult. How has your planning style changed since your family has grown? I do less planning, I guess. Like, I know that's really strange to say, but like before having kids, I used to do a lot more planning. Not really sure what I'm being called. Right, I got called away to do some family stuff, so I'm back. Where was I? How has your planning style changed since your family has grown? Well, I basically don't do any planning now. My planner is just for writing appointments or things in like that. Or sorry, I should say I don't do any forward planning anymore. Everything's kind of like fly by the seat of my pants. My planner is for writing down appointments and things to do as and when I know about them, or to-do lists, like as and when I know that I've got to do something, I write it in there. But I don't particularly sit and forward plan. I literally wing it all the time now. I haven't got time or brain space to kind of forward plan stuff. So I don't. like even like the monthly collections, basically I come up with the ideas for those when I have to sit and do them. Like, there is no forward planning on those. I literally do it as and when I need to do it. Need to be better at that, really. What is your dream planner setup? I don't really have one, because I guess I've been using a planner for so many years that how I have it right now is working, how it works for me. So yeah. Are you still doing Project Life or similar memory keeping? Yes, I still do Project Life. I am religiously doing it. Like every Sunday night, I print my photos from that week and put them in. Do a page, do like a 2-page spread for a week, every single week. I don't do any fancy pantsy stuff. I'll see if I can link below my videos I've done on this, but basically I use like one 6x4 space to write about what happened that week, and the rest of the pockets are all photos. I take way too many photos that I can't even narrow it down to that sometimes. So sometimes I do like 1.5 spreads or 2 spreads. If we go on holiday, I even do more spreads. I'm not like, whatever. I do whatever spreads it needs, you know. Because like if we've gone out for the day or something, then like a beach trip, then there tends to be more photos than if we've just been around at the house. So yeah, I do that religiously, and I'm so proud of myself. I've been doing that for like, what, 3-4 years now, definitely 3. So yeah, I'm really pleased with myself. But it's become a habit. It's become a habitual. That's it. It has become a habit, and that's what I do. And I try and do it as close to. Sometimes I run out of paper and ink in my little Canon selfie printer, and I have to wait until I can afford to buy some more ink and paper, and that kind of throws me off a bit, because then I'm like, I've got to catch up. But I do catch up, because it's kind of like important to me, and I know that if I don't catch up, then I'll probably lose it, and I'll really struggle to keep up. So my advice to you is, if you want to do this, do the same. Don't worry about backlog. Don't worry about the backlog. Start from now. It's better off to go forward than it is. It's harder to go backward. Do you have any advice for someone starting journaling later in life? No. I guess just do whatever suits your needs, your time, your energy levels, your interests. You know, if you're not into watercolors, then don't do watercolors. Just because everyone else is doing watercolors doesn't mean you have to. If you're not a writer, then don't write. If you're not, just do whatever kind of whatever you are into. Because bear in mind, you don't have to show anybody. So just do whatever you are into, basically, I think. Have you always had a job in the creative industry, or did you do something completely different before your Broomballs? Well, I think I've answered that. So yeah, I used to work in HR. I used to be a HR administrator. I used to be a HR officer. Then I was a PA for a little while, a PA to a HR director. I've been made, in every single job I've had, I've been made redundant. So it's kind of like forwards, backwards in terms of like the career ladder. And I didn't like HR very much. So that's why I don't do it anymore. How is Wolf Cub settling in, and is Spud enjoying being a big sister? Okay, so for those of you who may not know, I now have 2 children. They are both adopted, which is why they go by Wolf Cub and Spud and not their real names. Likewise, I don't tell you their exact ages either. They're like, just for their security, their protection, everything. Wolf Cub actually joined us in 2020 in the midst of the first lockdown, which was fun and games. Yeah, we're currently still fostering her. It's a long, ongoing process, but hopefully soon the adoption order will go through. Fingers crossed for us, guys, please. She will be forever ours then. But yeah, she's settling in well. Obviously, it's not a newborn baby, it's a ready-made person, and a ready-made person has to fit in with other people. And so, you've got to get to know each other and form attachments and, grieve and heal from previous lives. So it's kind of an ongoing process. It's not a quick, hey, you live with these people now, off you go. It's an ongoing process, but for her age and considering how long she's been with us, she has settled in very well. So yeah, they're doing really well. We're doing really well as a family. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're doing really well. So that's it. That's all my questions. So thanks guys for watching and asking me all the questions and for your continued support and all that jazz. Bye guys.